Hello everyone, Tartan Sauce back with you again, more DCS, and I'm still in the frog foot after that last mishap where I ran off the end of the runway after doing some anti-radar stuff. I am back to make another attempt at it. This time, instead of, well, what missiles do I have here? Well, I don't know. Those 25 MPUs, I forget what they are. That's an anti-radar missile that's more outboard, the more outboard missile you see there. In between that and the KH-58, which is another anti-radar missile, I've got some Vickers rockets that they're like or missiles, I guess you'd call them. They're like I guess the equivalent to maybe a Maverick or a Hellfire. So I've got some of those, and actually I think it's more like a Hellfire. At any rate, I've loaded up both sides, so I'm pretty well armed here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and swing on over to the south here.
Sushi, Pig, 2-1, request startup.
Now, my heading indicator is not accurate because I did not let the gyros spend any time on spooling up. So a lot of precession and inaccuracy, and I'm not exactly sure how to manually change that. In a real aircraft, there's a knob that you you adjust. So I don't know how you do that in the Su-25 because you can't just click on the instruments. Alright, so I'm inbound toward the target area Alpha, and I go air to ground by typing 7, and then I'm going to hit I. That should bring up the Phantasmagoria sensor system. In the last video, I went ahead and took down a couple of SA-15 tours, so that's a couple of anti-air missile systems that are no longer active. One of them fired on me, and thankfully I made it out of that one alive. I made it back to base, but I ended up killing myself by running off the end of the runway. Somehow I failed to release the drag chute. Now, my understanding is if you hit P, as in Papa, the drag chute will pop out and slow you down, but it did not do that. And I think if you hit it multiple times, it might release the chute. Now, I just might be confused about that. I might have hit P and then thought nothing was happening and then hit Control P, which might have released the chute in a previous mission. I'm not sure. But I was afraid to just tap away at P, thinking that it'd pop out my chute, so I did not do that, and I was hard on the brakes and ran right off the end of the runway. Unfortunately, there is a pretty steep 20-foot drop-off on the other side where it goes down to a railroad track, and I ran off of that and exploded. So you can click on that video and watch that kind of fun. So there we are. Looks like I'm making my way to Gudada. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and level out here. So I'm going to hit Alt 3, and if you see on the left side where your autopilot is, that's those are the lights that are indicating which autopilot feature you're using. And Alt 3 will bring up the altitude and heading hold feature. So we will just fly along here and look at that ocean. Yep, still there. Everything's the way I remember it. I'm going to bring up the camera and let's look around a little bit. Alright, so that's clearly some of the targets or at least two of the targets I had hit. If I had the Mercury LLTV, I would be able to see some of these targets with much better contrast, as it operates like kind of like a FLIR. Now, with the anti-radar or the radar sensing phantasmagoria, I can't have that Mercury LLTV, so I'm just stuck with the camera that's inside of the or it's by default on the it's part of the aircraft. I think it's a Schval system or something like that, but at any rate, it's just a regular TV camera essentially. So I can use that to pan around a little bit and see what kind of targets are on the ground. Looks like we got a few over here. I'm gonna put on the autopilot and have it turn the direction of these targets. I'll probably use some of these Vickers on it. Alright, that's just an aircraft warning there. Okay. Let me back out a little bit. I want to see where we are in relation to everything. Alright, there's the airstrip. Some trucks on the end of the runway. I'm not sure if those are tanks or what. I might just end up hitting some of those just because they're there. It might be it might be Shilkas. And usually if you run afoul of them, it's pretty close to too late. They'll pop up their radar as you get close, but not necessarily from a distance. So if they turn on their radar, they're probably already painting you and therefore firing at you. It's tough to work the anti-radar system against them. No, I should probably, there we go. Turn my autopilot off here. Well, I thought I had turned it off. Jeez. Alright. There we go. Oh, shoot. Yep, somebody's locking me. Yeah, better hit it. Hit it and quit it, baby. Got him. Bugging out. Yep, that was Shilka. Let's turn that off. While I'm not using it. Oof, still locked up. Something else is getting me. Turn on my ECM. That might help out a little bit, actually. And, you know, I'm going to go IRCM as well. It's infrared countermeasure. Just in case anybody with a man pad decides to pop one off at me. So, hopefully we don't get any of that. So, let's go ahead and swing around here. I'm going to try to get to a point where I can just kind of orbit, see what I can see. And Alt 2 will hold your bank and your altitude. So yeah, unfortunately I can't pan a camera over there that far, so I'm gonna have to get kind of crazy with this, it looks like. Oof. Nope. Yep. It's a bad idea. Oh, that's why.
Pull up. Pull up.
Yeah, I'm getting hammered. For some reason, I could not launch or even bring up my... Oh, it's because I've got the radar on. Dang it. I could not bring up my Vickers missiles. Man, I'm gonna have to go to the deck here. Try to get away. Yeah, they're firing on me pretty good.
Pull up. Pull up.
Go. Alt 3. Just run. Oof. Yep. Alright. So, lesson learned about that. Alright, well, I know where they're firing from now, so there's that going for me. Let's get some altitude here. It sounded like I took some hits, but I don't have any kind of audible warnings or anything. I'm gonna come over here and do kind of a there's a little bit of a chandelle, sort of. Bring down my flaps. Wind this bad boy around. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. Bring it on. Jeez. Ugh, that's annoying. Alright, there's one. Man, I hope that's not just one of those vehicles that hangs out the end of the runway. Probably is. I'm going to bail out in a second here. It's going to get hairy. Ah, jeez.
MLWS failure.
Yep.
ECM
I just
failure.
got popped.
Hydraulics failure.
Crap. Alright. Yeah, so that happened. Oh man. Lost an engine. This is kind of a YOLO mission at this point. Hit home, baby, hit home. Did he get it? Yep. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm about to get smoked here. And toast. Yeah, taken out. Oof. So, well, that was fun. And there's my flaming wreckage from that YOLO trip. Well, I'm gonna call that good for now, and probably go and hop into another aircraft. But I'm just gonna call this video done for now, and I will catch y'all later. Take care.